Your ability to communicate ideas persuasively is the single greatest skill you need to accomplish your purpose and goals. And being able to communicate with influence and impact in the 21st century needs a 21st century model of communication. To communicate with influence and impact, we need to use HUGS. HUGS is a neuroscience-based model for influential and impactful communications. My name's Dr. John Kenworthy, and welcome to this part. Getting to know your audience. Understand me. This is the second part, and we're getting into the details. And this is the first of the know your audience. What do they know already? What do they know? Let's start with asking, what do your audience already know about you and about your topic? Now, there are two extreme dangers here. Number one, assumptions. And number two, the curse of knowledge. See, I carry a curse of knowledge, just as you do. The curse of knowledge. I attended a networking event recently where someone was sharing about Bitcoin. I quote, "Bitcoin is a type of digital currency in which encryption techniques are used in a blockchain to regulate the generation of units of currency and verify the transfer of funds operating independently of a central bank." Fantastic. But what is it? See, I don't fully understand Bitcoin. I don't get how you mine them, and I don't appreciate how they can be worth more than $10,000. And I'm a geek. I feel utterly stupid when someone who does know speaks down to me as if I really should know. And it turns into a crushing sense of hopelessness. And that's not a great place for your audience to be. When someone assumes that you should know something and you just do not, they look at you as if peering into your empty-headedness with disdain. And yeah, sure, I'm biased and think of Bitcoin as e-tulips and a bubble that will hurt a lot of innocent people. But I'll come back to bias when we discuss the audience's opinion, okay? Now, I know quite a lot, but I don't know Bitcoin, blockchain, Ethereum, and now I've heard that there's one based on organic bananas. Well, it's bananas to me. My knowledge may be similar or utterly different to your own. You have your jargon and I have mine. The only time we have a real problem is when my jargon makes no sense to you. When I assume that something I know is common knowledge. There's a terrific little experiment that you can do later today with a friend or family member to truly understand the curse of knowledge. Firstly, I'm going to tap out a very, very well-known song. This, of course, only works well if you are listening to the podcast. If you're reading this, it kind of doesn't work. I'll tap out this well-known song and you can guess what it is. On the show notes, by the way, I've got just a snippet that I will take out of just this tapping, the tapping tappers song, okay? But let me just do it for you now. So I'm going to tap out this song now. Okay. Easy, right? Did you guess? Tougher than it sounds, really, isn't it? Some of you may have guessed it, may have heard this before as well. But if you were asked to someone to do this and estimate how quickly people would guess the song title correctly, you might guess at the commonly agreed 20 or 30 seconds. And the real answer is that roughly 1 person in 20 will guess correctly, and that after 3 repeats. And those are usually lucky guesses. So you try this with a friend or colleague. Okay? You tap out happy birthday. Oh well, now of course you recognise the tapping. It's easy now, because now the tune is humming in your head and you hear the tapping in time. Previously you only heard tapping. The problem is that I cannot unknow what I know. It's humming along in my head as I share. I cannot remember what it is like to not know what I know. And of course, I think what I know is easy. I would have to say be easy if I know it, but maybe, just maybe, it is not as easy or obvious as I think it is. Just like happy birthday ain't so obvious when all you hear is tap, 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 tap. Interesting, by the way, now that you know that it is happy birthday, you heard it immediately. And when someone does not know something, especially something that colleagues appear to know, they may feel intimidated and they may just shut down their attention and choose the ostrich maneuver, or worse, they may get defensive and disrupt your presentation by heckling. To avoid making bad assumptions and the curse of knowledge, you must find out what your audience already knows. And a terrific way to do this is to ask questions. So before you prepare for your next presentation, whether this is a formal or just a less formal communication, what does your audience know already? In the next part, once you know what they know already, you can look at what do they need to know and what do they want to know. Thanks for listening to this edition of the Leadership Advantage. If you'd like to learn more about how you can unlock your talent, unstuck your potential, and unleash your performance so that you can have joy at work and your team can have cohesion of unity and effort for good success, then visit us at leadershipadvantage.com.